What's going on, guys? This is Robert with Level 1 News, and I'm here to give you my review on a really cool and exciting keyboard. It's probably the last keyboard that you'll ever need. It is the Massdrop Control Mechanical Keyboard. Now, it's from Massdrop, or formerly known as Massdrop, as they are Drop now. And this keyboard has tons of different features. Now, it is not a full-size keyboard. It's more of a slim, small, compact keyboard. Not as small as Massdrop's Alt keyboard, but it's somewhere in between that one and a full-size keyboard. So what you get is a smaller profile, but pretty much every single button and stuff that you need, and it's all good to go when you go to set it up. Now, what comes in the box is the keyboard, obviously, a USB-C cord to power it on, and then things to actually remove some of the buttons and stuff. Now, the first thing that you'll notice about the keyboard is the design notes that are resonating throughout the entire keyboard. So it holds two USB-Cs. One is to power it, the other one is to power any device that you actually want. Has a slim profile. The color is a bit more of a lighter mirror space gray than it is like a darker matte space gray. So that's something to note if you were expecting for something darker, which I think that they actually had renders up of it being that sort of color before, you know, those were replaced with actual screenshots of the product, which show a more lighter gray design. And then on top of that, the keyboard actually has a grainy texture throughout it. It's almost like what a matte would feel like, but then like a slight texture on top of it that's a bit more grainy. Now, I hear that some people don't like that sort of sensation or feeling, but I actually am kind of drawn to it. It gives me just a slight bit more grip as I'm using the actual keyboard, and it feels like a little bit more of a premium product. So I'm actually not mad at the kind of design at all. It actually works for me. Now, jumping right into like some of the best features, which I'll kind of list, and it'll be, you know, pretty much some of the things that are on the actual product itself. One of the big ones, obviously, being the RGB lighting, the LED lighting within it. Really, really sleek and cool all throughout the actual keyboard. It has it throughout the base, and then it has it under the actual keys. And the keys are lifted just enough that you can see where the light comes from. But it's like a really cool design that way, and when you look at it from the top, it looks really, really flush. Otherwise, it kind of looks like a more of a mechanical sense of you seeing a little bit of behind the scenes or behind the curtains of what's going on, and I think that's actually really cool. There's a bunch of features in the way you can set the RGB lighting. So if you hit like function and a certain key, it'll change what type of lighting that you get, what's the speed, how bright you want it, how dark you want it, and there's like pulsating effects and stuff. Now, we do know that Drop wants to be able to put software in so that you can change even more of those colors, because there is software that you could change what some of the colors do, but they have a bunch of things set up for the keyboard, which is pretty impressive. Segueing into that, you could actually program the keyboard however you want with any of the keys, which is a pretty insane feature on its own. There's a lot of keyboards that don't do that are even mechanical, and this one, you know, from the software that they have on their website, you pretty much go in, start changing any of the keys, and like have profiles and stuff. So you can have them do different things for different settings. We used a little bit of that during gaming, and actually the keyboard during gaming, and it works really well. Some of my favorite games like Brawlhalla, Gears of War, it actually works really well with the keyboard. Not too crazy loud, just enough to give me enough of a grip and feel that this, you know, it works as well as it does. Still diving into customization features, the keys are swappable, and that's a really big deal for a keyboard like this. Now, there are tools within the actual box that let you get in there and be able to swap different keys. So all you have to do is buy different sets of keys for different functions that you want within the keyboard, and you could swap the entire thing. This kind of takes it on another level where there are other mechanical keyboards, possibly a little bit cheaper or even like half the price, but those you're gonna have to open up mod if you want to like use different kinds of keys and set it up the way you would want. And this is sort of pre-based that lets you customize it from the keyboard itself with no soldering or modding of any kind. So it's pretty easy that way, and you can go back and forth with different things if you wanted to do that. The keyboard has crazy extensive features that lets you just pretty much customize this thing almost to the ground level of just being able to open up the actual keyboard itself and change where the switches are lining up in the back and different things like that. It's really, really cool for people that are really keyboard enthusiasts, but if you just really want a sturdy keyboard, it's really good to have just on those merits alone and for any application that you're actually using it on. I'd say the only thing that people would possibly worry about is the hefty price tag, and it's about $200 for the thing. It's one of the more expensive keyboards, but what you get is something that you probably don't need anything else to replace it to actually use, unless you have some sort of very custom and specific thing in mind. This pretty much does everything that you would want it to do. All you have to do is kind of get your grounds on like how to use the keyboard in different ways, or wanting to swap out keyboard keys to do different things, or be able to like change any of the keys through the software, the lighting, you name it, it actually really does it. Really sleek, and it's small in its form factor, fits really nicely on any desk of any kind. I would say it's a little bit heavier than you would think, so probably carrying this around for, you know, tournament gaming purposes and stuff might not be the best thing, but it's actually small enough that you can do it. I would just like be a little bit concerned with the weight of it versus anything else, but I think it's good for even anything like that, LAN parties, LAN events, or just having it as your regular work computer keyboard or your gaming computer keyboard. It's actually really versatile for anything. All right, those are some of the biggest key points that I know for the Massdrop Control mechanical keyboard. I'm sure there's a bunch of other things that I probably have to really dive into just to kind of see where it's going. Besides things like the bumpers within the box that lift and raise the keyboard in any specific way so that I can type. I'm not huge into different things like that, but although I've tried it a little bit and it actually works really well. Depends on how you want things raised, or if you are working primarily on the keyboard on very long periods of time, then it might be better on the hands than not. Even without that, there's just so many other things going for it that I'm sure people found things beyond what I've been even talking about here. But I would just say it's very highly recommended keyboard. I think it's probably something that I don't need anything else but to use that. So it gets my definite approval. Alright guys, hope you guys like this review. Hit a like, comment below, let us know what you think, subscribe to the page, give us any feedback, and we'll give you more reviews on mechanical keyboards, gaming, home cinema, you know it. This is RGB Lighting News. Talk to you guys later.